I watch a lot of content on YouTube, right? I watch a lot of podcasts, a lot of interviews. I read a lot of books. I'm always trying to learn. So I'm always taking on information. And what I thought would be really helpful to do for you guys on here is to really share what I'm learning as I'm picking up on these little gems and nuggets. Why not share them instead of just keeping everything to myself, right? So that's what I'm basically going to be doing here and there when I hear something that I think is worthwhile sharing with you. So last week or a couple of weeks ago, I listened to an interview that Jay Z did with Kevin Hart. So those of you that don't know who Jay Z is, he's a rapper. He's like married to Beyonce. I don't think anybody here doesn't know who he is. So if you don't, then I don't know, Google him. But he's like one of the best rappers in the world, so they say. And then Kevin Hart, he's a comedian. So they sat down for a conversation, like a podcast style interview, and they were talking about Jay-Z's journey. But it was really interesting because number one, he doesn't really do interviews, or that I see anyway, not recently anyway, maybe back in the days when I guess he needed the PR. Now you don't really see him so much sitting down having lengthy conversations like that. So when I saw it was a 45-minute chat, I was like, oh, let me listen to it, see what he has to say, and hear if he has any gems to share. And lo and behold, he had so many gems to share in that interview. Now, again, conscious of my time and your time, I can't go through everything I took from that podcast. I've linked it in the description box below, so you can definitely listen to it after this conversation. Hopefully it's interesting and insightful to you. Again, if you have any comments on what I say, leave it below. Let me know your thoughts. And yeah, with that being said, watch the first clip and I'll come back and I'll give you my lesson I learned. So hopefully you guys could all hear what he was saying there. But in that conversation, Jay-Z was basically talking about how amazing we are basically as black people. I'm black, newsflash. But just in general, he was talking about how resourceful we can be and how resilient we can be, in that we can go through things in life. Things are thrown at us, adversities, challenges, struggles, but then we just make the most out of it. We can literally make something out of nothing. So he gave the example of, they gave us scraps, we made soul food. And it's like, it's so true. Like, you can literally make anything out of any situation you're in. And if I just take that to what we were talking about earlier today in terms of the cost of living crisis, and right now how bleak things look, like right now our budgets are probably more stretched than ever before, and financially a lot of people are struggling. And you can look at your situation right now and think it's bleak, it's lights out for me, there's nothing I can do about it. But flip it on its head and just think, okay, what can I do with the resources I have in my hand right now? Yes, I may not be on that six-figure salary making £100,000 a year, but what can I do with the £30,000 a year that I'm making right now? Let me focus on my situation, focus on my finances, focus on my budget and where I am right now, and not consume myself with what other people are doing or compare myself to anybody else's situation, but recognize the blessings that are in my hand and best believe I'm going to make the most out of it. So that's kind of what I took from that conversation. It's just that a lot of us kind of have that greener grass syndrome where we just think things are better over there and things could be better over there. But actually, why not take whatever's been given to you and make something magical out of it? Because yeah, you can, like, literally the power is in our hands to transform our financial situations. And rather than complaining about what I don't have and the struggles, I'm not minimizing anybody's struggle, because listen, I haven't made it by any stretch of the imagination. But what I am going to do is make the most out of what is in my hand and not focus too much on where I am now, but recognize that this is a temporary situation and actually I can get to where I want to get to with enough persistence, perseverance, and the right attitude. I just thought it was just brilliant, like what he was saying about how amazing we are as people, and then also how amazing he's been in terms of his journey. Because when you look at Jay-Z, for those of you that know, he came from nothing. Like you've come from nothing, but you've built this amazing life from it. And when he was there back, 30 plus years ago, whenever he was young, on that pursuit of his rap career, thinking, how can I make it? How can I break through? Things looked bleak. They looked like there was no way to do it, but yet he had the right attitude, the work ethic, and continued to persevere. And fast forward, he's now a billionaire. So it just goes to show that mind over matter can really take you far. But yeah, with that being said, here's the second clip for you guys. I know in the personal finance space, like I mentioned, there's loads of YouTube channels. So Humble Penny, they're amazing. Mama Furfur, she's amazing. You've got Veronia Spain. You've got Make Money Simple. You've got Finance D. There's just so many people now that are sharing this finance content online, which is important for you to tap into so that you can increase your own financial knowledge as well. And yeah, we could just ultimately make life better for the generation coming up behind us. So that's definitely what I took away from that part of the conversation between Jay-Z and Kevin Hart. So what I really took away from that point of the interview and what made me clip it is the fact that the bit before it, which I didn't show, Kevin Hart was like bigging him up and saying how amazing it is that he's businesses were able to blow, and like how did he make it all happen all at once. And that's when he now goes on to explain that no, it didn't just happen all at once, don't get it twisted. Ace of Spades was 15 years in the making. And that stood out to me because it just reminds me of that saying that the day you plant the seed is not the day that you eat its fruit. So yes, you may look at what you've started now and think, oh my gosh, this thing is never going to grow. This thing is not going to become anything. I've been on YouTube now, I'm talking from personal experience, for 2 years. My channel hasn't blown, and I could be discouraged thinking, oh my gosh, I've been working so hard. I've done over 200 videos. Why am I not on 100,000 subscribers? But actually, the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. And just because it hasn't come into fruition today doesn't mean it's not going to come into fruition as the years progress. What's important is that you continue to put in the work on a daily basis consistently. So continue to show up, continue to work, believe in your dream, continue to water that seed daily. And eventually it's going to germinate, it's going to grow, and then you're going to be able to eat the fruits of it in the future. And I think it was just a real eye-opener when he said that. 15 years in the making. Now we just see it and we just think, wow, he's a billionaire, his businesses have blown, he's a successful rapper, he's done all of these amazing, brilliant things. But actually, it started somewhere. It started as a seed that he planted, and then he continued to water it. So I guess I really want you to be encouraged watching this, wherever you are on your financial journey, whether it's paying down debt, whether it's saving for a house, whether it's starting a business, whatever you're trying to do financially, recognize that it's not going to be an overnight thing. It is going to take time. It's going to take investment. It's going to take consistency. But if you stay at it long enough, continue to learn, continue to grow, continue to apply yourself, eventually over time you're going to start to see the fruits of your labor. And that's what we're seeing now, live and direct from Jay-Z, in that, yes, fast forward now 20 years, 15 years, and he's basically blowing. And the same thing could definitely happen for you guys too, and hopefully it's gonna happen for me too. So yeah, it was just a really interesting interview. I'll definitely recommend you have a listen to it after this discussion, because these are just a snippet of some of the amazing gems that he shared. And it's good to, I guess, hear from people that are where you're trying to get to, or who have been where you're trying to go, because then you can kind of learn from their experiences and learn from their journey, so that you don't have to go through the same things or make the same mistakes that they've gone. You can kind of skip it and accelerate quicker. So Elaine said, totally agree. We need to share information to pass on to the next generation and next to keep it going. So that was in relation to the last point about Jay-Z, which was really good. And it's so true. We need to pass that information on. And then Elaine says, perseverance, patience, and put in that work and you'll get there. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you, Elaine. And that's basically it in a nutshell, actually. You've summarized what I was saying just now so beautifully. And that wraps up, I guess, Jay-Z and Kevin Hart's interview, what I wanted to say about it. I could literally go on talking about that interview for the next 20 minutes, but it's late. I need to go pick up my kids. So that is it for today's video, guys. Like I said, the budget templates are all in the description box below. If you want help, one-to-one coaching, you need somebody to kind of help you get started on your financial journey, you need an accountability partner, you don't know where to get started, then yeah, holler at me, slide in my DMs, click the link below and we can have that conversation. But that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on next week's live. Take care. Bye.